So the main part of the video today is all about Roman numerals. Now you might be thinking, well, why do we need to learn about Roman numerals? We've got enough challenges learning about our own number system. Well, that's the idea really. When we look at Roman numerals, we can think, how is it different to our number system? Why did we end up using our number system instead of Roman numerals? What are the differences? What advantages do we have? So hopefully it'll help us to understand our number system better. Anyway, in a moment, we're going to get right into that. Well, to start off with, how good's this? Have a look at this one. This number line here, this was Emily. This is her age here on the number line. And right the way over here is Mummy's. My goodness me. By the way, love the pause button. Now, once again, I thought we'd start by looking at the extend task from yesterday. And once again, this is just a bit of a recap from where we were yesterday. So no pressure if you didn't do it. But hopefully it'll be really helpful for everyone. So start off with position 200 on this number line. Well, I thought 200 and then to 300, well, 0 to 350. So 200, I thought it's going to be a little bit nearer to 350. So it'll be a gap of 200 and a gap of 150. So I thought about there for 200. Something like that. Now, for 640, I was thinking, well, 640, so 600 to 720, that's 120, and 40 is a third of the way along. If I split this into 3 equal pieces, so I think about there for 600, I'm going to write it up here, 640, something like that. Now, for 880, I was thinking closer to 720 or 1,000. Well, the distance, let me just see if I can move this slightly so I can write it more easily. I thought 720 to 880, that's 160. And 880 to 1,000 is 120. So it's going to be nearer to 1,000 than 720 by a bit. So I thought around about here, something like that, 880. Now, the question below said, which arrows show the position of 240 and 410 on the number line. Now again, the thing that I found really helpful for this one was thinking around about, well, whereabouts is halfway. So 240 and 350, or which one is it closest to? So 240 to 350, it's another 110 to get to 350. So it'll be most way along. So 240 will be right there. And then 410, again I was thinking 350 to 410, that's 60. And then it'd be another 90 to get to 500. So it'll be less than halfway. So I went 410 as the blue arrow. So today we're going to think about the Romans and the Roman numerals number system. It's useful to think about Roman numerals actually because it helps us to understand about our number system and why our number system works, how it works the way it does and how it's different. So let's first of all understand what this a previous number system used to be like. So if we're comparing Roman numerals to our numbers, they are different. We've got these 10 different symbols, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And we make all our numbers just using those symbols. But Roman numeral symbols, of course, are different. So if we look at how the Roman numerals for 1 and 5 and 10, we use just these 3 symbols. They're the only symbols we're actually going to use when we're looking at numbers up to 20. So I is 1, V is 5, and 10 is X. So then we're going to look at how some other numbers are made there. So have a look at these. 2 and 3, and 15 and 20. Can you see 2? We make that with 2 1s. 3, we make that with 3 1s. But of course we don't make all numbers just with 1s. And so can you see how 15, we make that with a 10 and a 5. It's adding. And 20, we add 2 10s here. Now have a look at these ones. So there is 6 and 7 and 8. And we add again. We add a 5 and a 1 for 6, 5 and a 2 for 7, 5 and a 3 for 8. So we actually use, to make 8, we use these 4 symbols. Now, can you guess what we do for 11, 12 and 13? Then, and maybe 16, 17 and 18? You might want to pause the video or you can just have a look. But there, we're adding. For 11, it's 10 and 1, 12, 10 and 2, 13, 10 and 3. 16, 17 and 18, have you had a guess? Well, it's 10 and 6, 10 and 7, 10 and 8. Look at all those symbols for 18. We end up using 5 different symbols to make 18.
Now, for 4 and for 9, it's a little bit different. Because rather than adding symbols, we actually end up subtracting them. It's about the order that they're placed. So have a look at this and look at the difference between 4 and 6. So here, I take away this 1 from the 5, and I know that because it comes first. Whereas the 6, I actually have the 1 after the 5, so it's added. It's just the same with 9. It is 1 less than 10. Now, can you have a guess what 14 looks like? And 19? Well, should we see? It looks like this. 14 then, we have a 10 and 1 less than 5. And 19, we have a 10 and 1 less than 10. So it's like a 10 and a 9 there. And that's how our Roman numerals up to 20 are built. So let's have a look at these ones. True or false? Have a think about these examples. Pause the video and we'll have a look at them. Okay, let's have a look. Now let's start off with the difference between these two. So we've got the same Roman numeral here, IV, but is it 4 or is it 15? It can look a bit like 15 because we can think it's a 10 and a 5, but of course this one actually represents a 1, and it actually represents 1 less than 5, so it is actually a 4. So this one's correct and this one's incorrect. Now this 12 is correct because it's 10 and 2. Now I can see why you might think that one's 21 if you think 10, 20, 21. But when that I is before an X, it's actually subtracting. So this one is our 19. Now, what I want you to do is see if you can apply what we've looked at here to work out how do we work out each of these numbers in Roman numerals and rank them by difficulty. So which one do you think was harder, which one was easier, and why? Pause the video. And I'm going to show you what I did in terms of what I thought was the easiest to the hardest. I thought 5, we just need 1 symbol, it's a V. Then 20, it's 2 symbols, it's 2 X's. Then I went actually for 18, because I'm still just adding. 10, a 5, and 3 ones gets me to 18. Oh, there's lots of symbols there, so that is a tricky one. And 9, I have to remember here that I actually subtract 1 from the 10, so I think that's quite a difficult one. Now, we're going to move on to this task. Now, if you're just getting used to using Roman numerals, then this is my suggestion to you. Actually, go on the blue link underneath the video, and all of the Roman numerals from 1 to 20 are there. So you don't have to try and remember them. And you can actually use that to help you to unpick this question. And that's fine, that's great. Otherwise, if you want more challenge, then you don't use that. But my Roman numeral is less than 20 that I've thought of. It has got 4 symbols. 3 of the symbols are different. What is my Roman numeral? Now, what do I mean by all that? So here, this example, it's not the answer, but is an example. This is 12, an X, an I, and an I. Now here, there's 3 symbols. 1, 2, 3 symbols in total. And 2 of the symbols are different. So I've got an X and an I. So then, it brings you back to this question. So I'm thinking of a Roman numeral, less than 20. It's got 4 symbols and 3 of those symbols are different. What is it? What do you think? Pause the video, have a go at this task. Well, if you're ready, let's have a little look. So these are the Roman numerals. They're less than 20. And I'm going to focus in just on those ones with 4 symbols. There they are. Can you see those ones with 4 symbols? Now, we've got one answer there because it is this one here. Because it's a Roman numeral with 3 different symbols. It's got an X, a V, and an I. So 4 symbols in total, X, V, I, and 3 that are actually different. So what number's that one? So we've got, this is 10, this is 7, it's 17. Now on the top of the task today are all the Roman numerals from 1 to 20 that you might choose to use to help you with the original problem solving prompt. Again, you might not have used them. And then there's this extend task at the bottom, which is really about explaining. And it explains that for every number that we have, we use these numbers here, these digits I should say here, sorry. So let's say if we were making 563, we would use our digits here, and it's just those ones. Whereas to write the Roman numerals between 1 and 30, you only actually need 3 symbols, an I, a V, and an X. So for numbers 1 to 30, we use all these symbols. So, agree or disagree, Roman numerals are easier than our numbers because you don't need as many symbols. You only need an I, a V, or an X. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So again, any way that you can show me that, love to see that, send it through. And again, I will love to have you back next week. It's been fabulous having you join in.
Okay, hopefully you've really enjoyed this week's focus on problem solving. We're back next week with another week around problem solving as well. It's actually our last week together. Because after that I'm going to hand you over to the Association of Teachers of Mathematics. They've got some great challenges. I actually have to get back onto my main job of getting work ready for schools, which is something that hopefully will impact you really well as well. But we've got another week together next week. Really, really looking forward to that.